exclusively on Superstation TBS.
Last season, the Atlanta Hawks cruised to a franchise record 57 wins and captured the Central Division title. But 1 year later, virtually the same team has been finding out the perils of being on top.
There's a lot of pressure on us in this city to win, and we accept that pressure. We want that pressure. It's a lot better than saying, hey, you lousy bums, you never can win a game.
And tonight, before a vocal Omni crowd, Dominique Wilkins and company will face the best of the Midwest. Deep down in the heart of Texas, all eyes have been shining on the hometown favorite, Dallas Mavericks. A young, emotional, freshly retuned Mav squad has shown the maturity and determination to challenge the best in the NBA.
TBS Sports presents NBA Basketball, America's Game.
Guarding Tarpley, who's a force for the Dallas Mavericks, but overcomes Kevin Willis to help out. Atlanta came away with the ball and away with the victory. Now they're hurting with their outside shooting, but that's not true with Dallas. Mike Fratello very concerned about the great outside shooting potential of this Dallas Maverick ball club.
And we're ready to get underway. Our referees for tonight are Ed Rush on the left and Ron Garrettson on the right, ready for the tip-off here. And Rick, everybody's talking about the pressure on your son, Scooter, playing college basketball with a famous father. How about Ron Garrettson?
Well, I tell you, his father, Darryl Garrettson, the head of the NBA officials, been around for a long time. I really feel sorry for him.
He, however, has probably been well prepared for the barbs and the darts. There is Ron Garrettson, the son of Darryl, and doing a good job in his first year. Has a full schedule of games in NBA officiating. The lead official is Ed Rush. It'll be Donaldson jumping at center versus Free Rollins, two veterans. Atlanta won the first meeting of the year between the two, 101-98 in Dallas. Doc Rivers collects the loose ball and beats the double team.
Yeah, those two centers are true veterans, and if they had a foot race down the court, it'd take about a quarter to get it over.
Nobody would win. Turnover, first one of the game, collected by Donaldson and Derek Harper, sporting a closely cropped haircut the last time we saw him about 3 weeks ago down in Dallas. Harper aces the lead with assist, gets to Rolando Blackman. Had a tough night shooting against New York last night, hit only 2 of 13. See how Harper does. He misses here. Rebound Donaldson. Dallas, the #1 rebounding team in the NBA. 49.6 rebounds a game. McGuire over Wilkins. Rebound Wilkins. Rivers to Dominique. Over Aguirre. He misses. Now here comes Harper. It's 3-on-2. Aguirre right behind the back to Blackman. To Aguirre. And Dallas draws first blood.
Well, those are the type of shots that I think that Dominique has to be careful of taking, because you see what the result was a 3-on-2 opportunity for Dallas. Quick shots, long rebounds. Dallas can run.
Dominique Wilkins guarded by Aguirre. Dominique with a height advantage. Gets him down low and takes it off the glass. Missing. Collected by Blackman. Harper to Aguirre, who got down low on the break. Rollins for the rebound. Setting up their half-court offense now, which means getting into that man more times than not. And it's tied at 2.
So a breakdown defensively. James Donaldson got caught flat-footed and didn't react to picking Dominique up when he came down the lane.
2 minutes gone in the first quarter from the Omni in Atlanta. Hawks and Mavericks. Harper's left open for the shot. Rivers gave it up. That's one of the game plans, is not to give up the 2 points, but to stag back in a little bit on the part of the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, they're really very concerned about Blackman, who came off of 3 screens that time, and that wound up leaving Harper open.
Here's Whitman coming off the screen, and he feeds to Willis, knocked away by Harper. Tarpley gets it to Blackman. Here's Tarpley. He loves this shot. He doesn't hit it that often, though. And McLeod would rather he didn't take it. It's about the only thing he's not doing well lately.
You know, I watched John on the bench, and his reaction was exactly what you said, only I think he said a few things a bit stronger.
Tarpley is in his 7th straight start. He started 3 games for the injured Aguirre, now 3 for the injured Perkins. And Doc Rivers ties it at 4. Rivers averages 14.7, but he's been averaging 2 points more than that since he was named to the All-Star team for his first time this year. Shot clock to 10 for Dallas. This is Tarpley. Nice pass into Donaldson. Coming off the double team.
I don't understand why Tree Rollins went into double that time, because when he did, Donaldson took one step and was wide open, and it was a good pass from Tarpley.
Don McLeod said before tonight's game that Tarpley is improving his inside game, but that is something he needs to work on more than anything else, according to his coach. Tarpley gets the air ball. We've got a loose ball foul. It's going to be on Atlanta.
Let's watch that last play we just mentioned on the double team. They see Tree Rollins comes over the double. One step back in there. He's wide open, makes the pass. I mean, I was surprised because I really thought that Willis had good position on Tarpley.
Now they've changed that and said the call is on Rolando Blackman. So it's Atlanta ball. That's after the teams walk down the other way. 6-4 Dallas. Atlanta with a new shot clock. Whitman guarded by Rolando Blackman. Gets it down low to Wilkins. Good defensive play by Dallas. Harpley running the floor, something he does as well as any young big man in the NBA. 7 feet tall, he plays power forward.
That's been a welcome addition to this ball club. Probably will get 6th Man of the Year award and done an admirable job filling in for Aguirre, who was hurt, and now for Perkins.
We've got a foul on Aguirre holding Dominique Wilkins. And that's a place where Wilkins can really hurt Aguirre, as it's going to, of course, be vice versa on the other end. That's getting that inside position down low.
Well, of course, there's other people for that 6th Man award, but I would think that Tarpley is going to be the hands-down favorite on that one. Phil Bailey, of course, from Utah, has done an outstanding job for a number of years, but Tarpley's been amazing this season.
Randy Whitman came off the screen. Nobody was near him, and he'll bury that one all night long. Had a slump earlier. He's been playing well of late.
Of course, the perennial 6th man that everybody talks about, Michael Cooper.
He's kind of like his coach, Pat Riley. People expect him to be so good that he doesn't win so many awards. They just accept the excellence. Turnover from Dallas belongs to Atlanta. This is an 8-6 Mavericks lead with 7:35 remaining in the first quarter. Eric Harper, Doc Rivers, two of the better young point guards in the NBA. Rivers coming up far short. There's Willis. Willis has been averaging nearly 18 points a game his last 4. Playing well. On the drive, Blackman, good Hawks defense. Collins with the board. Randy Whitman, and it's a Hawks lead for the first time, 10-8.
Bob, so many of the good teams are able to get break opportunities like that because of their good defensive play. A result of the block down there, Hawks get 2, and they love to get into the running game, and that's what Dallas does not want to allow to happen.
Dwyer on the double team has it blocked away, and here come the Hawks. 4-on-3. Rivers to Dominique Wilkins, and John McLeod doesn't like what he's seeing as the Hawks were trailing 8-4, then 8-6. Now they lead 12-8 with 6:43 remaining in the first quarter.
On Friday night NBA, it's World War III as Boston and Detroit duke it out for Eastern Conference supremacy. Live at 8:05 Eastern on the Superstation Friday.
Friday is the best. Superstation TBS. Absolute.
The Atlanta Hawks last year won a club record 57 games. This year, at this point in the season, they've only won 41. We asked Mike Fratello before the game about the difference in last year's and this year's Hawks edition.
What we need to do is we have 15 wins in there. We need to keep
The other night, which you would not expect to have happen, and you've got to be healthy to be able to win in this league.
John Battle still back playing, but still recovering from hepatitis infection. John Concack probably out for the year with strained knee ligament. The Hawks have had even other injuries, too. 5 on the shot clock, another Hawks defensive play, but back comes Dallas. Dwyer to Donaldson, put him in trouble for that play, but Donaldson came back and got the hoop. It's tied, it's Hawks by 2, 12-10. Willis over Tarpley. There's Tarpley with the rebound. That, by the way, was his 800th rebound of the year.
Well, Dallas doing a very good job of getting down the court and getting into offensive play without setting up. And I think that this is something that they need to do more of if they expect to ever have a chance to beat the Lakers in the West.
Look at the penetration by Doc Rivers. He saw the lane and drove it.
And I watched Richie Adebayo and John McLeod both shaking their heads because obviously there's a major breakdown defensively for a player to be able to do that against the defense that Dallas employs.
Dallas is third ranked defensively in the NBA. They're really improved over last year, something Richie Adebayo works on primarily. From long range, Harper cold tonight to begin this ball game. Hawks with another defensive rebound. Atlanta leading by 2, 14-12. Spin move by Wilkins. He's fouled as he goes down the lane.
And getting over, Donaldson was caught. Aguirre got caught just watching. The head of steam right up the middle. He could have driven a truck down there, and that's not the way that the good teams play defense. The player should never, Bob, be able to drive from that far out, get to the basket without being challenged by someone. That's a nice, smart play on the part of Doc Rivers to see the opening and take advantage of the mental lapse on the part of the Dallas Mavericks.
They have, by the way, charged Mark Aguirre with that foul. That's his second in the game. Aguirre has 4 points, 2 fouls. Wilkins with 6 points to lead all scorers. Doc Rivers, 4 assists early on for Atlanta. Aguirre lost the handle on the ball, but he was fouled previously. Coming up Friday night, we continue with our playoff-bound teams. It'll be the Pistons and the Celtics, Bill Laimbeer and company, and Larry Bird. Larry Bird and the Celtics will host the Detroit Pistons. Oh, what a series they had in the playoffs last year. Mark Aguirre for the baseline. He's got 6. Hawks by 2. Dominique Wilkins with 8 now. Harper being left open for that shot, and the Hawks defensive strategy working thus far in that he's missing most of those. Doc Rivers had the lane open again, this time on the offside, and he's had 2 straight jams. Rivers with 6 points.
Harper commits the foul afterwards. There you see the play coming again. Whitman will take it back into the middle. He'll get Rivers. Wilkins is open. There's Rivers off a little screen. Picks his man off right to the basket. Tarpley a little late getting over across the side of the head. Foul. And Doc Rivers with 2 spectacular drives in a row, and that one even more so, dunking over the 7-foot Royce Harpley.
Rebound, Derek Harper. Doc Rivers, not a great free throw shooter. 76% run into that.
That was a slick play, though, by Whitman to pick off his man.
20-14 Atlanta. 4:10 to go, first quarter. Orlando Blackman. He was 2 for 13 versus New York last night.
And that's what Mike Fratello was sick when he looked at the box score this morning. He said, yeah, I bet that Orlando will shoot that bad tonight, huh?
It's 2016 Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins off the glass. Wilkins a scoring machine in double figures already. He's got 10. Wilkins number 2 in the NBA in scoring behind Michael Jordan.
Well, I think he'll have a field day because Aguirre's got 2 fouls, and he's not going to guard him very tough right now.
And this is where they miss a player like Sam Perkins, who is so versatile on defense. He's out with that strained knee.
Orlando Blackman is showing you why he's been an all-star player.
He has 4 now. 22-18 Atlanta. Down low to Rollins against Donaldson. Waiting for the double team. Off the foot of Blackman. Atlanta ball, 9 seconds on the shot clock. First substitution in the ball game is Detlef Schrempf for Dallas. Been playing pretty well last 8 games, getting a little bit more playing time with the injuries first to Aguirre, now to Perkins. Wilkins off the glass. So Schrempf now will have his chance to try to defense Dominique Wilkins, who has 12.
Just a great chance. I mean, what a great opportunity, right?
Maybe
Thanks,
handcuff.
Coach.
Donaldson misses the reverse. Not exactly Rudolph Nureyev. For you young people, he's a ballet dancer. We'll be back at
one time. I remember playing the ball game, and everybody was tired with Nate Thurman on the team. My second year in the league, I think. 5th game in 6 nights, playing in Chicago. Nobody wanted to shoot. Everybody was exhausted. I never passed the opportunity up, Bob. I got 49 up, and I'm going to tell you, it's tough to get 49 shots up.
49 shots in 48 minutes.
Might have been 50, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to figure that out. The other team should have the ball about half the time. Whitman, nobody near him.
And those are the kind of shots that Randy Whitman must hit for the Atlanta Hawks to have a chance to advance come playoff time. They need the outside shooting to make the defense play honest.
Whitman hasn't missed that perimeter shot thus far tonight. Hawks have their biggest lead of the game, 8 points with 2:14 to go in the first. Hawks are shooting phenomenally, about 70% now in this first quarter. Harper isolated and past Rivers as the shot clock winds down. Harper gets the shot up, draws the foul.
Smart play on the part of Harper. He really didn't have a good shot.
So both teams have made one substitution. Shrimp has substituted for Aguirre here early. And a turnover, Dallas on the run. Look at Shrimp get down court. And another turnover. He got down court, didn't get the pass just right. Shrimp is big enough to have caught it. He's 6'10". Minute 38 to go in the first quarter. Atlanta leading 26-20. Now Blackman on Whitman. Off the dribble, has it stripped away by Tarpley. Then Rivers, now Harper, all alone.
We're seeing some excellent defense here, I think, Bob, on the part of both teams. One of the reasons why they're up so high in the standings is that these teams don't give away a lot of easy baskets. We've seen a few of those, but that is really not the norm.
4-point Atlanta lead. There's Rivers penetrating again. Rivers has solved the Dallas defense thus far for 8 points.
That'll be an offensive foul against Harper. Just as I talk about it, again, you saw a breakdown in the Dallas defense. Someone has got to attack Doc Rivers. I mean, he's just having a field day driving down the middle of that defense.
It looks to me as though it's probably a defensive scheme breakdown since it's happened several times. You can keep your eye on it. Coach Barry will give us a feeling as what's going wrong with that. Here's John Battle recovering from hepatitis in, number 12 for Atlanta. Gets it to Wilkins. Donaldson rebounds the miss. Battle in for Whitman. Shot clock to 10. Blackman against Battle. This is his 7th game back. And the taller Blackman hits the perimeter shot. And Mike Fratello's worst fears are coming true. Blackman is not having an off shooting night tonight. 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Hawks leading it by 4 and going for the last shot. Wilkins for 3, and he can shoot that one. Around and out, Willis have a loose ball foul.
Called on Kevin.
Nobody was near him for the rebound. Ron Gerritsen said that's because he cleared it out before he got it. There's 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. Dallas could cut the lead by 2 if they can get a shot away. Shrimp in heavy traffic doesn't get it. Wilkins all over him. Shrimp wanted the foul, didn't get it. At the end of 1, Atlanta 28, Dallas 24.
Myself to people because once they saw me play and I expressed myself on the court, they didn't laugh no more at me because once they got on the court, I laughed at them.
At the University of Miami of Ohio, Ron overcame most of his stuttering problems. And in 4 years, he earned All-American honors and the desire to help others. He used his experience in a children's learning disability class where he met Kevin, a boy quite similar to himself.
Everybody was choosing kids that was saying, pick me, pick me. So this young man was sitting in the back, and he wasn't saying nothing. And I was like, I picked him, and I saw a little bit of myself in him. And so I felt that he gave me confidence in myself, knowing that I have a speech problem, that I can still help somebody. And the update on him is he's doing good in school. He never said us as I got to with you.
Ron's hard work has put him on the rise in the NBA, and with the aid of a young man named Kevin, Cleveland's great prospect is ever mindful of life's greater challenges.
They won that first game down in Atlanta, down in Dallas, 101-98.
Doc Rivers, 8 points, 6 assists in the first quarter. Some substitutions to start this quarter. I'll pick them up for you in just a moment. Dallas with the ball. Rolando Blackman from 16 feet. Blackman gets his own rebound. How did he get way down there? It's a 2-point game.
Well, he shot a lousy shot, and he knew it when he let it go, and he tracked it down. He was chasing it before he hit the ground, Bob.
Carr, the new player, wearing number 35 in for Atlanta, and Scott Hastings getting set to come in. Brad Davis right now guarding Spud Webb, who's just in for Atlanta. Webb gets it to Willis. Uwe Blop, number 33. Blop the big 7-footer for Dallas, who's been playing pretty well in the absence of Sam Perkins, who's missed now his 4th game with a sprained knee. They're going to get John Battle for the hold on Rolando Blackman. And Scott Hastings comes in for Atlanta. Hastings in for Willis. So Atlanta has Battle, Carr, and Livingston up front. Battle and Webb at the guard positions.
Very strange lineup with the Hawks.
Haven't seen it this year in this combination. Hastings has had a lot more playing time since John Koncak has been hurt. Chris Washburn is not playing well. Webb! He's fouled by Davis. Spud Webb, by the way, a member. This team is so good they only need 4 players. Rick?
Mike Fratello playing coach.
I could be their announcer. Sorry, you're not eligible. This would be the first team you wouldn't make. Shot clock down to 10 for Tarpley over Carr.
That's a bad shot.
Shrimp gets the rebound, misses. There's Tarpley. He's fouled.
But that's why he's so tough, because he'll come in and do things just like that. Shot, very, very poor shot. Rushed it, fading away from the basket at 7 feet tall. But he tracked it down.
Via scoreboard, Cleveland leading the Knicks. Knicks beat Dallas last night at Madison Square Garden. Cleveland battling for a playoff spot also. Both of those teams hoping to make it in the East. So that's a very big game between those two tonight.
I'll tell you, you get the Knicks at home right now. I mean, the fans are turned on to him. They go out and battle for Rick Pitino. He's done an outstanding job with them. Be careful, Bob. The other teams that don't make it, the fans will be mad at you.
They'll write you the letter.
That's
what I love about it. Here's Battle. Rattles it home. First game back from, this is his 7th game back. First game back from his hepatitis infection. Battle played 14 minutes, got 14 points. But he's faded a little since then, and Fratello says it's because he's still trying to recover. His energy level's not up where it should be. Blackman, 10 on the shot clock. Davis feeds to Shrimp. Couldn't get it to fall. Carr rebound.
Yeah, but you notice how the Hawks shut the middle down and made him pass off.
Scott Hastings fouled by Uwe Bluff. Watching Superstation out of Chicago, I guess I can say that anyway. Watching the Chicago high school playoffs. He played for Effingham against Russell Cross and Manly Tech in Chicago.
The Battle had a good drive. They just couldn't finish it off. But the Dallas defense, John, I'm sure is going to talk to him at halftime. It's been very porous against the drive. They are having some major breakdowns tonight.
Davis missing from long range. There's Block. Has it blocked by Livingston. Or is that Carr? It was Carr. But Tarpley was there for another rebound and the jam. It's a 3-point Atlanta lead with 9:15 to go, second quarter. Rollins set to come back in for Atlanta.
Oh, Carr was wide open. Battle couldn't get it to him. Look at Carr go up. Perfect timing. Good, clean block. But the ever-present Roy Tarpley.
Sean McLeod talking to him before the game. He says, I said, what's the story on Tarpley being such a good rebounder? He says, this will sound funny, Bob, but the ball seems to find his hands.
That always helps.
No kidding. 10 on the shot clock. Blackman isolated against Battle. Leans in. Tarpley didn't get it that time. Carr stripped it away. Livingston gets it to fall and the foul on Davis.
John McLeod's going to get a technical. And I'll tell you, I have never seen John McLeod react so vehemently as he did on that play. Boy, did he jump off the bench and start screaming at the official. Came out on the court, and really there was no alternative but to give him a technical foul. Let's watch the play again. Here you see the forced shot by Blackman, off balance. The Hawks wanted a foul on Tarpley over the back. Now here comes Cliff. Now watch Brad Davis, moves into him. There's the crash, the basket, and then, of course, the reaction by John McLeod, who's still upset, as you can see.
John McLeod has had 2 technicals. This is the 3rd this year. Last one was in January. Hasn't been thrown out of a game since 1979.
If we get a chance, maybe I take one more look at that play. I didn't watch it as closely to see if John really was justified to react so vehemently. I really didn't see it when Carr picked the ball up to see if I thought Brad was in proper position. And I'm going to ask during a break or something to take a closer look at it, just give you my opinion as to whether John deserved the tee or not.
think he's been a little frustrated with his team's defense, which can get him on edge for sure. 37-30, Atlanta leading the night, 34 to go to the second quarter. This is the time the bench makes or breaks it, as Carr did on the steal on the pass into flop. And there's Davis with another foul.
All right, now let's watch the play again. We'll see if the ball is picked up. Now let's see what he's committed now, and Davis is still moving, and I think that was a good call. It was a block against Brad Davis because Cliff was committed and Brad was still moving to get his position.
Uncharacteristic front, Davis and Harper are the guards for Dallas. Carr trying to muscle it inside, nowhere to go against those two big guys. Wilkins misses the three-point attempt. Aguirre, who is not all that physically big by NBA standards, has very long arms and huge hands, as you saw him handle the ball looking like a grapefruit. Steal by Livingston. Webb has Wilkins. Takes it all away. McLeod with an angry timeout signal for Dallas as Atlanta has gone up by 9, the biggest lead of the ball game, with 7:41 remaining in the second quarter.
Of Carr and Spud, seeing the opening, penetrates right by Aguirre, lays it in the basket. And those are the type of plays that have happened. That's 3 big steals that they've had. They've gone down and had an opportunity to convert and get some good, easy points off of it. So Spud, Webb, and Carr and Livingston have done an outstanding job, along with Battle and Wilkins. That's a strange lineup, and they're also no center.
Dallas trailing by 9. 7:30 remaining in the second quarter. From the Omni in Atlanta, another sellout crowd. Hawks looking for a 42nd win on the year. Davis with the penetration block. Livingston. That was Carr. Webb. This is it, but there's Wilkins. Count it.
See, this is the type of defense the Hawks were playing earlier in the season when they were really winning a lot of basketball games very easily, and they seem to have gotten that motivation back again.
Dallas turnover, Atlanta ball. Antoine Carr blocked that last shot. Carr has 2 blocks this game and has had at least 1 block shot in 10 of his last 12 games. He is playing very well defensively for Atlanta.
It's been a great job for Atlanta so far. You see, every time penetration comes on the part of the Dallas Mavericks, some Hawk is there to try and shut things down in the middle. That's not been the case for the Mavericks.
Livingston pushing Aguirre away. Substantially larger than Aguirre. Missing the shot. 11-point Atlanta lead, biggest of the game. Aguirre shoots before the double team can get there.
And that's what you need to do. Don't let them get there. And the difference being now is that the Mavericks have not forced the Hawks to have to play a perimeter game. All those good steals and the opportunities for Atlanta have provided easy inside opportunities for them, like this one.
Antoine Carr.
There's another breakdown again. They just don't have people attacking the guy, putting the ball on the floor, especially on the penetration moves.
Carr's been scoring well. He's been averaging 62% from the floor last 17 games. Wilkins rebounding. Atlanta running again. Dominique will take it off the glass.
The Mavericks cannot win this game playing this type of basketball. This is Atlanta Hawk basketball, and the Mavericks will get blown out of here if they keep playing this way.
John McLeod calls another timeout. It's a 13-point difference now with 5:56 remaining in the second quarter. This is just a 20-second timeout. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Rick and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game.
Now, what you're seeing happening is that the Mavericks now are being forced to go to the perimeter game. The Hawks are all over them. They're not getting the open shots that they got earlier, and that's all a credit to the great Hawk defense.
Donaldson back into the ball game for Dallas. Hit the open man. Harper back to Davis from 19. Brad Davis.
So the quickness of this Hawk team has caused a lot of problems for Dallas. Again, they're playing without a true center, and it's created problems for Dallas.
Carr penetrating again.
I mean, I'm telling you, I can't remember seeing Dallas play this bad a defense on their internal defense and allowing the type of penetration that I've seen here tonight.
Really don't have but one big guy in terms of NBA standards in the ballgame right now. There's the foul on Shrimp. Only Donaldson lost. I'm not trying to ride this horse too much, but a tremendous loss having a very good big defensive player like Perkins on the bench, because right now Tarpley's on the bench for Dallas, and they really only have Shrimp, even though he's 6'10", is not a big man in terms of a player in his style. Wilkins from the perimeter. Well, the Hawks can't play a whole lot better than they're playing right now. Defensively, offensively, rebounding. The Hawks are up by 14.
Well, the Hawks win when they play good defense. That's what they must do.
McGuire got Antoine Carr moving and drew the foul. Team fouls, both teams with 4.
Needed to get along with John. Otherwise, everybody would have said all of the things you talked about Dick Motta would have been a bunch of baloney, and it would have been Mark's fault.
10 on the shot clock for Atlanta, leading 49-35. Battle from 15 feet.
Oh, he
Bad
missed
shot.
Dominique wide open, who rolled to the hoop and would have had a dunk.
Battle hasn't rounded back into shape. This is 17 back from the hepatitis infection. For 3. I don't think Harper wanted to take that one off the glass. That's how far he missed it.
Hey, the Hawks defense has really taken the Mavericks out of their offense. The Mavericks normally a very good executing offensive team, but it seems when they get excessive pressure like the Lakers put on them when they lost that game to the Lakers back down in Dallas, it causes a problem for them.
Carr, defense by Aguirre. They've isolated the side. Antoine Carr, beautiful move inside. Carr's got 6 points in this ball game, go with 3 rebounds and 2 blocked shots. Hawks with their biggest lead now of 16. Harper to penetrate, kicks it back to Aguirre. Over Webb. Rebound Donaldson, stripped away by Battle. Wilkins knocked out of his hands. It'll be Atlanta ball with 20 on the shot clock.
Unique wanted the foul. But
Whitman for Battle.
But you saw the white jerseys, the penetration. I mean, they just converge in there. They're shutting down the middle. They're not giving Dallas the opportunities that the Mavericks are giving the Hawks, and that really has been the most important factor in this ball game.
Dominique and Aguirre really bumping down low, stripped away by Harper. Nice play by Derek Harper. Harpley over Tree Rollins.
Well, that's the type of defense that the Dallas Mavericks are going to have to play if they want to get back in this ball game.
Tarpley, 8 points, 6 rebounds. He has 2 personals. 3:03 to go, first half. Atlanta 51-37. Whitman wide open again for that perimeter shot. He'll hit that till the cows come home without somebody in his face.
I asked him today about his shooting and mentioned to him that I had thought when we saw him last time about his follow-through. He says, yeah, Rick, I said, I've been working on that. He said, I know, I was just putting on my shot, and I've worked real hard on my shooting and making sure I follow through. And he had good form that last time.
Aguirre lost Wilkins, and he buries it from 14. 53-39 Atlanta, 2.5 to go, first half. Bud Webb has it knocked away, but unfortunately for Dallas, into the hands of Wilkins, who misses. Dallas running 3-on-3. Webb looked like he was going down for a below-the-knee tackle on Derek Harper. He'll go to the line.
Well, I don't think he can tackle anywhere but below the knee, can he?
That's right.
NBA action. It's fantastic.
Atlanta Hawks leading by 14 with 2:23 to go in the first half. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report. Craig Sager will be along with scores and highlights. News from around the NBA, a feature that Rick has prepared called Rags to Riches, I think you'll find interesting. And the big story, Scooter Barry and Kansas trip to the Final Four. What a great opportunity for Scooter to get the opportunity to come in and give those Jayhawks a lift when they needed it, Rick. You've got to be really proud of him.
Well, I'm extremely proud. My buttons are popping. But more than anything else, I'm just happy for him. I mean, he's a fine young man, and it's going to be interesting.
Harper tried to get it to Aguirre, but Rivers was there to strip it. Now he's back to Dominique, who doesn't miss this one. Wilkins has 20 points. The Hawks lead by 15, minute 45 to go first half.
Yeah, I like the way that Wilkins has got his 20 tonight, though. Good shot by Harper. It hasn't been a situation where he's come down and thrown up a million different shots. He's taken it in the flow of the offense, and this is the way that I think Mike would like to see Dominique get his points. It's been a great team effort.
Speaking of team, it's been great off the bench, too. Hawks had outscored Dallas 11-0 off the bench previously. Wilkins hangs and fires, and now he's got 22.
Well, Dominique's doing a great job of coming to a stop, squaring up, and then going up for a shot. He's always had a tendency to do a lot of drifting, and he doesn't do anywhere near as much as he had in the past.
Aguirre spins and answers. It's blocked, but was it blocked off the glass? Goaltending, yes. Carr would have had his third block of this half, but instead the basket will go to Dallas.
But again, look at the help. Here comes Carr. The ball's on its downward path, and that's where the goaltending came from. But again, the Hawks doing such a good job of helping one another.
1 minute to go in the half. Atlanta by 13. Wilkins has 24.
But again, look at the good square-up position he was in.
Wilkins hit 28 in the third quarter for an all-time high at the Omni recently. Probably won't have an opportunity to do that now. Rolando Blackman with the Dallas bucket. 35 seconds in the half. Rivers. Carr, not much defense there, and Carr just took the shot. Carpley, another rebound. That's 7. Harper lost control of the dribble. Down to Donaldson. Nice pass. Foul on Antoine Carr. Carr has been a force around the basket
The season, and he's just now starting to feel comfortable about that. And of course, for the Mavericks, that's good. They want him healthy come playoff time. They lost him last year, and it really cost them dearly.
Hawks by 11 with 9 seconds to go in the half. Hawks had led by 16. Livingston. Donaldson rebound. 1 second in the half. No time for a shot. And Dallas has climbed back in it here, trailing only by 11 at halftime as Mike Fratello.
Jerome Kersey misses from the outside, but Kevin Duckworth rebounds, and he slams it home. Portland takes the early lead. Watch this play coming up. Alvin Robertson gets the pass, scores underneath for 2 points. Then Caldwell Jones throws it in bounds. Robinson steals again, puts it in, scores 4 points in 3 seconds. Portland with
Stop that with one shot just before the buzzer at halftime to keep the Jayhawks within striking range of Kansas State. In the second half, with the defense king and All-American Danny Manning, Barry was open from the outside. He made 5 of his 6 shots and scored a career-high 15 points. And he gave Kansas its first double-digit lead of the game with a great move to the basket. Kansas was in the Final Four, and no one was more proud than Scooter's Hall of Fame
player.
father.
As a result, the Bulls have won 9 of their last 12. Jordan, for the past week, averaged over 34 points, 8 rebounds, and close to 3 assists, blocks, and steals per game. Michael Jordan, he's our NBA Player of the Week.
Milky Way, helping you through your day.
To succeed in the NBA, you have to be talented, and in many instances, you have to be lucky. It's often not a case of when you are drafted, but where. Here's Rick Berry with tonight's feature.
Life is full of cliches, and many times they're very appropriate for the situation. For instance, being in the right place at the right time. How often has it happened to you where you've missed out on something very important because of bad timing? Well, the same scenario exists in the NBA. In fact, it may even occur more frequently. First of all, you don't make it into the NBA without talent. But as so often happens, a player winds up spending most of his time sitting on the bench. Now, you can only learn so much sitting and watching. When you fall into this trap, the key to surviving is keeping your confidence. And that's a lot easier said than done. Fortunately, a lot of players are able to maintain their confidence, and then by virtue of a trade, they wind up getting that chance to play. Let's take a look at some of the players who got that chance and wound up being in the right place at the right time. Dale Ellis scored more points in his first year at Seattle than in his previous 3 years at Dallas. He's currently the 7th leading scorer in the NBA. Kevin Duckworth appeared in only 14 games before the Spurs sent him to Portland, where he accounts for 12 points and almost 7 rebounds a night. But the Spurs didn't exactly come up empty in that deal. Walter Berry is averaging 18.5 a game. Sam Vincent averaged only 3 points a game with Boston, and in his brief time in Chicago has more than tripled that. Frank Rikowski played in Italy, France, and Israel before warming benches in Seattle and L.A. Now the Spurs count on him for 15 points and 7 rebounds a night. Winston Garland was waived by the Bucks and starts for the Warriors. 13 points a night isn't bad for a reject. But the real heroes of this rags-to-riches stories are a couple of guys who have worn out more suitcases than sneakers. Michael Adams was waived once by the Kings and twice by the Bullets. This 3-time loser now averages almost 13 points and more than 6 assists per game. He's 8th in the NBA in steals and holds the NBA record for consecutive games with 3-point baskets. And finally, Rod Higgins also holds an NBA record. He wore 4 jerseys in 1 year. Now he scores 15 points and grabs over 4 rebounds a night for Golden State. These guys have been bounced around more than a game ball, but they're having some fun now.
One player who was in the right place at the right time was Scooter Berry, very instrumental in leading Kansas to the Final Four. But I have a
break opportunities and converting down the other end for the Atlanta Hawks, with Dominique Wilkins having a spectacular first half and Mike Fratello having to be thrilled with the way this team has played the defense for the Atlanta Hawks. They have played this way earlier in the season. They have been lacking a little bit, but tonight they've got it on track.
Let's have a look at the scores in this ball game. McGuire with 12, Blackman 10, Harper 9. The Dallas bench has been next to absent in this game. Wilkins with 24, Rivers 8, Whitman 8. The Atlanta Hawks bench has scored in double figures in the ball game. So the Atlanta Hawks have here at halftime an 11-point lead. Anybody who follows the NBA knows that's not a heck of a lot. Dallas a little tired. They're coming off. They're in the middle of a road trip. They've got to go play Washington on Friday, and then they have they're at Boston on Saturday. But the Hawks will have to go play at Detroit tomorrow night, so we're just in the thick of the what you might call dog days in the NBA with a long season. Teams battling for a playoff spot, thinking of playoffs, but nevertheless, each game's important right now, like this one is to these two teams. It's a tough time. Dallas trailing by 11.
But it's a fun time, Bob.
It's a fun time for me. Dwyer has it blocked. Tried to shovel it past Rollins.
Well, I see there's the same story. It's like a broken record. Defense by the Hawks, block shot, break opportunity, basket by the Hawks.
And the Hawks back to a 13-point lead. Harper, Blackman, Aguirre, Tarpley, and Donaldson are there for Dallas. Their starters. Doc Rivers blocked it away, but we've got a foul. It's on Rivers. Hold it, maybe on Willis.
Now they're calling it on Whitman, I believe. Now they're calling on Doc Rivers. They do make it.
They called it on Rivers, and then Ed Rush pointed directly at Willis, and then
I thought he put 1-0 up when he's sticking at the bench.
Nevertheless, it reminds me of an old joke. Derek Harper comes away with the field goal for Dallas, and here's Whitman pulling up and scoring. Has Whitman missed tonight? I don't believe he has.
He's shooting the ball exceptionally well, and he's finally getting good form on his shot. He was struggling for quite a while.
Whitman 6 out of 6. 63-50 Atlanta, 63-52 as Harper is heating up. He's hit 2 perimeter shots in a row and has 13. Wilkins 1 out of 3 there. Says he may enter the 3-point shooting contest next year. Whitman wide open again. First miss of the night. Willis couldn't hold on to it.
Bob, there was no doubt he was going to miss the next time he shot it because you've been talking about him.
It's like talking about a shutout. Nevertheless,
you are the kiss of death. There's no question about that.
10:41. Thank you. 10:41 to go in the third quarter. 63-52 Atlanta by 11. Willis over Donaldson. Nice play by Willis. Had to double clutch. Aguirre. Blocked by Wilkins. Whitman penetrates, gets it to Willis. He's fouled. 67-52, Atlanta by 15 with 10 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Quarter number 3. John McLeod has been ejected from an NBA game for the first time since 1979. Blackman with the drive in the basket.
One of the few times that a Maveric's been able to drive to the basket and lay it in without being challenged by someone else.
Wilkins, defense by Blackman caused him to miss that one. Dwyer. I thought maybe he had the ball on the floor a little bit too long, but he does draw the foul. Tree Rollins limping off. You see he's got the strap on his left knee. It's a tender left knee. He'll go off. Livingston into the ball game. Willis will move to center.
Mike just asked him how he was doing. I read his lips, but Tree didn't hear him because Mike was too low.
Spoke right into his navel. It's Blackman against Whitman. Pulls up to the jumper. Tarpley is going in big to get the jam. Doesn't get it. Atlanta foul. Thought it might go on Tarpley for going over the back for the jam attempt. It's on Livingston instead, his second. The biased Atlanta fans didn't like that. They wanted Tarpley to get called. It looked like it could have gone that way. Harper for 3 points. A triple for Derek Harper.
That's the closest that they've been in a while.
Harper now has 16 points. Whitman off the screen, wide open again. Whitman 7 out of 8 from the floor tonight. Atlanta by 12. Rollins went to the locker room, by the way. We'll see what the condition of Tree Rollins is. He limped off. Looks like he had done something to his left knee. Tarpley from way out. Not there to rebound. Willis is. Hawks run. Penetration by Rivers, who's off balance. Dwyer has Blackman way out in front. Gets him the ball. Dallas can run. They can certainly run better this year than last. 10-point game now.
Well, I think that they need to do that. They have to have some diversification in their offense. And when they do both, they're a very difficult team to beat.
Whitman is losing his man time after time after time. And Whitman is now 8 out of 9 from the field. He has 16 points. Hawks running on the turnover. 4 on 2. They get it to Wilkins. 27 for Dominique. Timeout Dallas on the penetration. Illegal defense. 3 seconds is the call on Dallas. There was only 1 second on the shot clock. That's excellent Hawks defense again. Willis had denied the entry pass down low. Rivers has 14 assists on the night, by the way. 14. Many of them have gone to Randy Whitman off the screen. Here he comes again. This time they reverse it to Livingston. Wilkins is going to get the foul. Watch Whitman on these screens.
Let's watch Randy Whitman, see how he's been getting so open. Here you see him battling with Mark Aguirre. Mark with that great upper body, just holding him off, stopping him from getting into the stack, pushes him off. Finally, he runs off, travels around to the other side, finally picks up the ball. But good defensive help by Harper stopped him from getting the shot off that time. But they haven't been doing a lot of that.
That's the first time they've really faced up on him after the screens. Donaldson with the left hand. Rebound Livingston. Dallas only getting 1 shot most trips. Now it is 3 on 2 as Blackman shovels to Tarpley off the glass. Roy Tarpley. Tarpley's got 10 points.
The Hawks have to keep playing with that intensity because Dallas is a team that can come back very quickly.
He's only 2 points away from his season high of 18, which he scored 4 times previously this year.
I tell you, he's picking a heck of a time to come out of his shooting slump.
Whitman scored 18 points the last time, March 8th against Phoenix. His next basket will tie that season high again. We'll see if Dallas has solved the screen. There he is again. Not so open, but he made a nice pass to Livingston and missed it. Last 2 times Whitman's come off the screen, there's been somebody in a green shirt in front.
That was a good example of a finely executed offensive play and a good reaction on team defense on the part of Dallas.
Harper gets the pick and roll to Tarpley. Hook shot over a lot of arms, about 6 arms flying in his face that time. Tarpley has 12 and 10 rebounds. He's 3rd in the NBA in rebounding, 11.9 per game. Down to 10. Livingston penetrating and scoring.
Dallas still not doing a good job of shutting off that penetration out a little bit higher. They're letting the offensive players really get into a position where it's almost impossible to stop them.
There goes Blackman trying to get off a screen, but Whitman fought through in his face. Blackman on the penetration, stripped away by Rivers. They're calling the foul.
Whitman this time.
His second. Ten-point Hawks lead. Livingston double-teamed, nowhere to go. 10 on the shot clock.
Well, that was either a block or a charge.
Ran right into Roy Tarpley. No whistle. Dallas can cut it to single-digit lead for the Hawks here. 5:19 to go in the third. Harper is fouled. Doc Rivers called for the
themselves defensively, and it's ironic how the more aggressive team sometimes winds up getting less fouls called against them.
Dallas in what very much appears to be a 1-2-2 zone. Wilkins from the corner.
Very good pickup there, Bob, because that's exactly what that sucker was.
He looks like one of the NCAA teams. 10-point Atlanta lead. Into Blackman. Goaltending. Antoine Carr going for another block shot.
Richie Adubato calling out defensive signals over there as Mike Fratello looks on concerned, and he's definitely throwing some different looks at the Hawks, and the Hawks are having a little bit of a difficult time adjusting to it right now.
8-point Atlanta lead. Wilkins from the baseline. Gets his own board. What a play.
That's just a great individual effort by a great offensive talent.
31 points for Dominique Wilkins on the night. Wilkins averaging on the season 31.3 to be second in the NBA. His next point will put him above his average. Almost stole the ball from Shrimp. On the drive, Detlef Shrimp tips it back. There's Tarpley. Shrimp. At 6'10", he muscles it in, and he gets the foul. A three-point opportunity.
Let's watch that great individual effort on the part of Dominique Wilkins as he makes the move, goes up for the shot. Now watch, he knew he missed it. He hits the floor and takes off to go in for it. It bounces away. He still reacts to pull it back. Now he goes up. Donaldson's there, and look at the nice move on the finger roll by Dominique Wilkins.
Shrimp only a 74% free throw shooter. It was Antoine Carr picking up his third personal foul for Atlanta. 3-point conversion, and it's a 7-point Atlanta lead. Atlanta has led by as many as 16 in this game. McLeod ejected earlier. Richie Adubato running the show for Dallas now, along with Gar Hurd.
As a calculated ejection. He wanted to light a fire under his team, and it's worked so far.
Whitman wide open. Wilkins for three. Wilkins' 29th three-pointer of the year. And by the way, Wilkins only needed 27 to go over 2,000, as we pointed out earlier. So he's above 2,000 points in this ball game for the season. Shot clock to 7. Harper comes back for a three-point, misses. Tarpley controlling the loose ball. We'll give him the rebound, his 11th of the game.
Nobody's guarding Shrimp, and he's mad because they didn't get the ball to him.
Down low to Shrimp. 10 on the clock. Harper's open. Now Blackman. Nice play by Blackman. He drew Wilkins to him and then stepped inside for the shot.
Well, again, that's another play where there was excellent team defense being played by the Hawks as they rotated terrifically after the double team. But credit Rolando Blackman for being able to take advantage of Nick coming out of them. It's a smart play on the part of Rolando Blackman.
Story in the paper tomorrow will talk about Wilkins' points and Aguirre's and Whitman's, etc. But defense has been the story of this game. Wilkins scoring again. 36 points for Dominique Wilkins. Tarpley couldn't control it. Hawks back to a 10-point lead, now in possession of the ball. Wilkins gets the double team. Hits the open man. Bad pass from Carr. Bounce pass to Shrimp. Was that beautiful from Derek Harper, or they called the travel? I didn't see it in the live action, Rick. The travel, I mean.
Well, he shuffled his feet, and we'll watch him very closely as we see the excellent pass. The bounce pass comes through. 1, 2. No, I don't think they should have called it, Bob, because on the run, you're allowed a step and a half, and he caught the ball, then put his foot down, took one more. That's a bad call and a tough break for Dallas Mavericks.
I agree with you. Carr, Wilkins, has 36. Blackman gets it to Harper, has Shrimp and Tarpley. Blocked by Carr.
That's a very impressive block.
It's Dallas ball, and Carr's third block of this game.
Well, I tell you, that takes a lot of guts. And not only great skill as he times it perfectly. Tarpley, such a strong player, is able to knock it away. The contact was after the play was over, incidental, and I agree the official should not have called it.
Blackman, beautiful move with his left hand, wanted to call, didn't get it from Ron Gerritsen. 8-point Atlanta lead, minute 40 to go, third quarter. Good ball game from the Omni in Atlanta, along with Rick Barry. This is Bob Neal. Rivers had the good penetration. Tarpley's going to try it again, this time off the glass. Nowhere to go with it. It's another rebound for Wilkins. He's got 6 rebounds tonight.
And great play by Livingston defensively.
Hawks having trouble finding the handle. Shrimp fouls Wilkins.
Uwe Blop comes into the game, Bob, and I'll tell you, we have seen some outstanding individual efforts as well as some good team defense. There's been a lot of fun things to watch in this basketball game.
Huntington's big also, 7 feet tall, 250.
Got rid of that beard.
Changed his whole look. Jump ball, Doc Rivers tying up Blackman.
Another example of the good defense being played by the Hawks, and Doc Rivers has been very active, doing a lot of double teaming, causing some problems for the Dallas Mavericks.
Unless Dallas scores 30 points in the third quarter, Dallas could be held under 100 again in this ballgame. It would be tough for them to hit 100 tonight. 57 seconds left here in the third. Wilkins. Atlanta by 10. Shrimp, Davis, Blackman, Blop, and Wennington on the court right now for Dallas. Not exactly an all-star team out there, save for Blackman. Whitman off the screen, missing. Rebound, Willis. Loose ball foul beyond Dallas. Comes Spud Webb into the game for Doc Rivers.
I think Uwe Blop.
It's his second. So it's Webb and Whitman at the guards for Atlanta. Willis, Livingston, and Wilkins up front.
These guys, they should have to play 48 minutes a game.
Spoken like Red Auerbach. Davis to Blackman. Shrimp on the double team. Blocked by Livingston. It'll be Dallas ball, 9 on the clock.
The Hawk defense has just been swarming all over anybody inside. They've done an outstanding job. Mike Fratello has got to be pleased with this effort so far. And I say so far because they still have to maintain it for 12 and a half more minutes.
Shot clock to 7, 6, 5. Shrimp rolls it home. Shrimp works best playing the third, number 3 position on the floor.
I agree with you, Bob. I think that's his natural position.
That's out on a wing. He can operate a little bit. If he has to slide down and play power forward at 6'10", sometimes he does. And that shot does not count. It is waved off by Ed Rush. At the end of 3, Hawks lead it by 12.
And he's really put on another performance here tonight. 38 points already. We have a full quarter left to go, and he's liable to hit the magic 50 mark. But I think that you have to credit the Hawks because when John McLeod, I think, and I do think again that he intentionally got himself ejected from this ball game to light a fire on the Mavericks. They cut the lead to 7, but the Hawks have been able to withstand that and kicked it back up to 12. So they've done a good job responding.
Gar Hurd, along with Richie Adebayo, on the bench now for the Dallas Mavericks. 90-78, Atlanta leading for the final 12 minutes. We talk about Wilkins possibly getting to the magic 50. He's done that twice this year. He's scored 40 points 12 times. Blackman off the Wilkins miss. Shrimp for 3. Harpley with another rebound. Misses the follow-up shot, though.
That's Uwe Blop.
We said that in stereo for those viewers with stereo.
I'm telling you, your eyes are getting really sharp, Bob. I'm proud of you.
Prescription in my glasses. I even found one of my golf balls today, which means they really get sharp.
No, I like your golf swing.
you coached me into playing pretty well there at the end. If I get you to be with me on all the shots, I might not be so bad. John Battle in the ball game for Atlanta, along with Spud Webb. Webb is open from 16. 14-point Atlanta lead. McGuire. Count the hoop and go to the line. Fouls on Hastings. 14 points for Aguirre now.
Toughest call of the game to make. Let's see. We'll find out when Aguirre is committed when he picks it up. Committed. Moving over. Excellent call by the official.
And that is the key. There's some other subtleties, but that's the key.
And that's the one thing I really admire about the NBA officials, that they really do call that play relatively consistent. They watch the defensive player, and they keep an eye on the offensive player in the corner of their eye to make sure that defensive player is set as the offensive player is committing himself when he picks that ball up. And I just think, I wish the colleges would do that more, because they call too many charges when they're really blocks.
Illegal defense called against Dallas. That's the first warning. It'll be Hawks ball side out with a 24-second clock reset. 10:59 to go in the ball game. Atlanta leading it by 12.
Richie Adubato goes on my all-gum chewing team along with Doug Collins.
Doug can really work over the gum. He should get a gum contract. Wilkins has 40 for the 13th time this year. Davis, good outside shooter, hits this one. Although he's been slumping a little bit, Brad Davis, from the perimeter. He's only 2 of 14 for three-point attempts since early part of March. He's had been right up near the top of the three-point shooters.
Can't believe he actually made it when you said that about him, though.
That's right.
You're slipping, Bob.
I held my breath for it. Battle hits the open Spud Webb. Shot clock down to 8 for Atlanta now. Davis on Battle. Hastings to Wilkins with 3 on the shot clock.
Good defense by the Mavs.
Harper has Tarpley on the right side, but he had only Spud Webb between him and the hoop, and Derek Harper takes it in, and Harper now has 20. John Battle. Battle from Rutgers, number 4 draft choice in '85. The lowest draft choice to make the Hawks team since Herb White back in 1970. Spud Webb. Nice body control. Little volleyball there made Dominique laugh.
He was trying to
Mike Fratello laugh.
He was trying to tip it to Cliff Livingston.
Atlanta by 12 points with 9:22 to go in the game. Battle lighting it up from the outside now. This is the 7th game back for John Battle since he was out with hepatitis infection. Still trying to develop his stamina. Timeout, Dallas. 9:05 to go in the game. Hawks by 14.
The Gatorade Slam Dunk. Another Gatorade Slam Dunk.
It's the versatility of Sam Perkins, who's out with a strained knee.
And his offensive capabilities as well.
1st and 10, Atlanta. A fumble on the 4-yard line.
And the foul on Harper.
Derek Harper with his 2nd personal.
Derek trying to get a little fancy with it, loses the handle. John Battle picks it up, and Harper, you see right there over the top, winning the foul.
98-84.
Battle's done a nice job since he's come in. He's played better here in the second half than he did in the first.
Looking for his stamina. Antoine Carr from the corner. Carr's been averaging nearly 12 points a game his last 17, shooting 62% from the floor, only averaging 8.8 on the year.
Carr talking a little bit. The Tarp was saying, go on, you can have it, you can have it.
That looks shrimp, and a lot of traffic. Off the glass, doesn't get it. Tarpley can't get it. Scott Hastings does. Atlanta by 16. This could be the biggest lead of the game. Look at the move by Webb. He misses it. There's the Hawks' rebounding strength again. And Antoine Carr is on fire.
And he was pumped because he's a big guy who got to lead the break.
As Aguirre watches from the bench. Antoine Carr.
He only carried it, though, twice on the dribble, Bob.
For three, Davis. And that shooting slump from three-point range. But there's Tarpley with his 16th rebound of the game.
Well, you can see why he's such a force for the Mavericks on the rebounding.
Shot clock to 10. Donaldson. Offensive foul, Dallas. They'll call it on Donaldson.
Scott Hastings paid the price on that one very dearly as he got it in the face. Here was the Spud Webb going in for the drive after that pass by Antoine. And Antoine had the inside position against Donaldson, was able to give the good fake and take it up nice and strong to finish off the play.
Carr gives away 5 inches in height to Donaldson. Hastings gets it in the paint to Livingston. Hastings had the opportunity for the long-range jumper, but he very wisely got it inside. Hawks have jumped ahead by 20 points.
And they're doing it with a very strange lineup. Their benches really come through here for them.
Carr, Livingston, Hastings battling Webb on the floor as Webb goes down hard.
Well, Mike has to be very pleased with the effort that this group is putting forth here.
3 games with injuries. This is the 4th game that Perkins has missed.
Got to stay healthy in the NBA.
Harper got past Scott Hastings for the lay-in. 18-point Atlanta lead with 6:38 to go in the game. This is where the coaches worry. 18 seems like nothing to them.
You're exactly right.
Battle. Tarpley with a rebound. 17 rebounds for Tarpley in this ball game. He's been averaging 16.7 per game since he's been starting. This is phenomenal. Blackman missing, battle with the ball. No look pass to Webb, behind the back to Carr.
That's a tired Dallas ball club, Bob. Their legs were gone. Blackman limping a little bit. He got kneed, I think, in the thigh.
Fratello thought twice. He started to send Tree Rollins into the game, thought twice about it. Now he's going to get Willis in there. Shrimp gets it to Paul. Atlanta by 18. Webb just blowing by everybody. Foul Livingston.
Here you see Battle leading the break, looks away, makes the pass to the inside. Spud behind the back to the trailer Carr. And the only thing that would have made that nicer would have been a dunk.
Spud Webb puts the get-go in this basketball team. That's his role. Run it, keep him in the open floor, provide a spark. When he has to play, and the Hawks have to play from a half-court offense, Spud Webb not very effective. Give him the open court. Tarpley on the fadeaway. Carr flying in front of our broadcast position here. Battle taking the shot and missing. And Carr got up from here all the way down for the rebound.
Boy, he playing with such great intensity. You're right. He hustled so much. I mean, they're up here with a 17-point lead. He made a great effort to try and pick the ball up. He got down there to get the offensive rebound, was on the floor again.
Antoine Carr, this Atlanta crowd applauding the hustle and effort of these Atlanta Hawks. They were very loose along with their head coach at the shoot-around today, Rick. And they're playing, you know, it shows how much you can read from an intensity level. Yet they're playing tonight like this is a playoff game.
Well, this is the type of effort they need. This is a veteran team. They've been around. They know it's time to start playing the kind of basketball they need to win basketball games with. And that's tough defense as Battle hits another shot.
Battle has 9 points in this ball game.
Remember, this is a team that really feels that they let everybody down last year, including themselves. And they want to get back and prove that they're a better basketball team.
Harper for 3. Hawks and Mavericks playoff bound. We'll have Detroit at Boston Friday night at 8:05 Eastern Time. Skip Carey, Steve Jones will have that ball game for you. Rick and I will be out on the West Coast following the Braves opener. In Seattle and L.A. next Tuesday night. Tarpley with his 18th rebound. Look at him run the open court. Gets it to a better ball handler, Shrimp, with the left hand. And the foul. Final games going toward the playoffs so that his team will play well when they get there. Right now, this isn't helping them any. Spud Webb missing. Donaldson rebound. 4:11 to go
Oh, they missed Perkins, and he's expected perhaps to be back to the game on Friday.
Bad pass from Shrimp intended for Tarpley. Battle was there, dumps it to Willis. The Hawks aren't going to be headed in this ball game tonight. The bench has been spectacular. Defense has been very good. The shooting percentage has been awesome. And I don't know if there's any part of this game for the Atlanta Hawks you can criticize tonight.
I'm trying to think of one, Bob, and I really can't do it. They played an exceptional basketball game tonight. Great intensity level. Their defense really turned on, and especially in that second period. And they've maintained it.
Be interesting to see the intensity and how the Hawks play tomorrow night at the Silverdome against Detroit. Tarpley controls the ball. It's Shrimp. Shrimp has been out of control offensively tonight. Matter of fact, he's had a struggling season all year.
Well, on the last one, he got pushed and should have had the foul called, and the official let it go.
Blackman with a rebound. Shrimp very publicly unhappy at Dallas. Doesn't like his playing time or his role. Would very much like to be traded, he says. Didn't get traded. But he'd be happy, though, if Dallas got into the NBA Finals. Carr. He has 7 rebounds, 12 points, 3 block shots, and an effort tonight that's all-star caliber, Antoine Carr.
Well, I've always liked him as a player, but again, he's just had that injury bug that has plagued him so often, and he's finally been healthy and showing you what he's capable of doing.
Battle goes for a three-pointer. Got less than none, and Mark Aguirre has been mysteriously absent here in the fourth quarter. Richie Adubato didn't like his defense, and at least that's my guess. 110, Nitroid Spectra system. Hold a picture in your hand while the feeling is still in your heart.
Well, get the Spectra system camera ready, because you're going to see the man they call the human highlight film as he misses the jumper. Now, right there, he could snap a good one as he uses his athletic ability to get the rebound. Now, look at this move and snap it right there as he puts in a beautiful balletic type of move. Dominique Wilkins. Is that true? Is that a good word? I don't know.
It's a great word, balletic.
How about Jacques D'Amboise?
Stick with balletic. I love balletic. I'm going
he also
with
was a ballet dancer.
And Rudolph Nurio. We've hit 2 of them tonight. Atlanta bench 35 points, 19 rebounds. Dominique has 40 tonight. Dallas's bench only 14 points and 4 rebounds. Look at the Atlanta bench, 19 rebounds.
Well, Antoine Carr has been a big factor in that department.
He has 7. Livingston has 5. Webb has 3 rebounds. Battle has 2. Hastings 1. Brad Davis hits the runner from about 10. There's 2:13 to go. Hawks leading it by 13. It's not out of the question for Dallas to get back in this ball game, but the way the Hawks have been playing, it's highly unlikely. 2 minutes to go in the game. Spud Webb taking care of the ball. Wilkins gets it down to Willis.
Well, do you think Mike Fratello was concerned a little bit since he has Dominique back in the game and
has been playing better? After his injury, he missed 7 games. Willis never did really get back to where Mike Fratello wanted him, but he may be getting there playoff time. Only 23 games. And here comes Chris Washburn into the game. Tarpley fouled before the shot.
Hey, Chris's shoes are tied, Bob. The last time Mike put him in the game, Chris went in the game and didn't have his shoes tied.
But that wasn't the worst of it.
The foul is called. He's at the free throw line. The opponent shoots the first one. Chris, during the second free throw, reached down to tie the shoes. And when Mike saw that, Chris didn't stay in the game very much longer. But Chris said he was wrong, that he wasn't very professional when he did that, and that he is rededicating himself this week so that he could try and help this ball club out.
Chris Washburn acquired on December 16th from Golden State for the rights to Ken Barlow. Played in 14 of the last 21 games, with John Koncak out possibly for the rest of the season with his knee ligament damage. Washburn's a guy the Hawks would like to count on. Shrimp knocking it out of the hands of Wilkins. It'll be Atlanta ball. Following the game, Craig Sager
on that play, and he's a fine young man, and I would like to see him find some way to get a chance to play, to use some of that great natural ability that he has.
Washburn is 6'11", 255. Of course, played at North Carolina State. Whitman. And Whitman has tied his season high, has 18. That's the 5th time this year he's hit his season high. That was Davis for a three-pointer. He's in the top 10 in three-point field goal shooting percentage in the NBA, just above 40%. Minute to go in the game. Hawks by 14. Doc Rivers dribbling away the clock, down to 5 on the shot clock. Just inside the three-point line, Doc Rivers. 49 seconds to go in this ball game. Farmer from Alabama. On the penetration, has it blocked first by Rivers. Now here comes Wennington with a scoop shot. Wennington just averages 1.6 points a game, so he's higher than his average with that shot. Farmer's 6'4", has a 36-inch vertical leap. They think he can be a player at Dallas. You think of guys like that as Leon Wood and Scott Hastings come in for Atlanta. You think of guys like Farmer and Alford. They may be the type of guys who could go in the expansion draft.
Well, the problem with that, though, is that the expansion people want to get their big men. There's so many guards around that I would be very surprised if one of them was picked.
You're right about that. The big guys who don't play much are big valuable
Wennington
property.
will be someone who would probably get picked up by this Dallas team, I would think.
Clifford Ray likes them. Can only protect 8 players. Washburn behind the back jam with 4 seconds to go in the game. Well, we knew he could do that. Didn't exactly impress Mike Fratello, however. That's the buzzer. Hawks win this one by 14, 120 to 106. Dominique Wilkins with 40 points tonight. Doc Rivers gets 16 assists and ran